So you're thinking about running, but not sure how to take the first step. My name is Brian Patterson, and I'm here to help. Welcome to Brian's Run Pod. Well, welcome back to Brian's Run Pod. I'm your host, Brian Patterson. In the second part of my discussion with Dr. Nichola Renwick, we talk about the different types of bra and what are the 5 key areas to look out for when purchasing a bra/sports bra. If you haven't heard the first part of our discussion, then please do have a listen to the previous episode. What advice would you give to women at this stage, as to what's on the market?
Yeah, so in terms of buying a sports bra, so I mentioned earlier about how if you were smaller breasted or if you were larger breasted, you'd be wearing you'd be recommended to wear a different type of bra. So for someone with smaller breasts, so smaller breasts are typically classified as a C cup or below. And so for them, they typically find that a compression bra is sufficient enough to meet their needs. And so the compression bras are kind of the ones you see that are like little crop tops, basically. And they act to just compress the breasts against the chest wall and just hold them there. And that is sufficient enough to reduce breast movement for these women. And then for larger breasted women, we'd recommend what's called an encapsulation bra.
Right. Okay.
So this looks more like an everyday bra. It has 2 separate cups. So instead of the compression bra, which looks like a crop top with kind of one bit of material across the bust, an encapsulation bra has a cup for each breast. So each breast itself is supported individually. And again, just kind of, with increasing breast size, you get a larger mass, and then physics dictates that then that will kind of move faster during exercise activity. So it just needs that little extra added kind of support. Right. So being able to kind of support them individually, and we've seen that is better. And then there's a third type of bra.
Okay.
Yeah, which is a combination bra, which has elements of both the compression and the encapsulation. And that kind of, again, larger breasted women might prefer that as well.
Okay.
But it's not to say if you're smaller breasted, you can't wear an encapsulation or a combined bra. And if you're larger breasted, you can wear a compression bra if you want to, but if you're experiencing discomfort and pain, you might be better off in one of the combination or encapsulation.
And it just thought across my mind is that basically where the areas that they would get pain, is it kind of, again, is it something different to each individual, or did you find that some people would find they'd get pain by, to the side, under the armpit, or, on the front of the body? I mean, are there any kind of generic areas?
Yeah, no, I think in terms of breast pain, there's not really, I think it is something that we're really interested in as a research group, of kind of understanding more about breast pain, because there's not really a consistent area of the breast where everyone will say if they experience breast pain, everyone will say they experience it, at the side of their breast or at the bottom of their breast or around their nipple. There's not really any one area.
Or even it could be, one side of the body, that, they find it kind of really is.
Yeah. So there's not anything that kind of screams out at that. So that is something that we are trying to investigate and interested in learning more about. In terms of kind of other areas of pain, that might be related to bra fit. So if you've got pain on your shoulders, that can be a sign that your bra is not supportive enough, and your straps, if they're digging in. Same if your underband's too tight, that might dig in as well and cause you some pain. And we can also see as well, back pain as well. If you're experiencing back pain, it might be a sign that your bra isn't supporting you enough.
Right.
During activity as well. So it's pain and discomfort in different parts of the body. But
are there any, I mean, if women are going to be doing regular exercises, are there any exercises, aerobic exercise? So are there any exercises that they could do within the gym let's say for the back to help strengthen the back? Does that help? Or I don't know. I mean, or, to kind of alleviate, any movement or pain or anything like that.
For that, I'm not sure about that. So I'm not
Right.
a clinician, so I'm not too
Okay.
sure
Okay.
about that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do you see, and sort of, maybe I'm trying to maybe looking ahead, that, AI or artificial intelligence, could that help in terms of your research kind of moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. I think in terms of we have our database that we have from all the data we've collected over the years, we've got so much of it. And like I said, we've scratched the surface with being able to look at it. So being able to implement maybe machine learning
Yeah.
through AI technologies is something that, we'd be really interested in for kind of just being able to analyze like massive amounts of data that we have. And then we also have a branch of our research group who are investigating and developing musculoskeletal computer models. So
Right.
these are probably a bit more predictive, but you can put it in with real people's data. So they've developed and created a musculoskeletal model that has breasts. So it's a female specific model. It has breasts on it. And then you can put in data that you've collected from participants. So you can put in what their breast size is and, how tall they are, like all their different kind of body measurements, and then get the computer to get them to run and then see how
All
much
right.
the breasts are going to move. And then looking at that in terms of, if you then add a bra to that, how's that going to affect breast movement? And so we do have a branch of our research group that is investigating that. And I think they've looked at it in terms of how changes in breast mass, so in changes in breast size, how that then affects loading on the lumbar spine, so on the lower part of your back.
Okay.
So that's kind of ongoing research in our research group as well. So yeah, definitely something we're interested in.
So do you see going with that, do you see kind of the design of the sports bra changing much, or or is it something that we get better materials, better education? Could there be, even much stronger design or something?
I think it's probably a combination of kind of all of that, really. I think education is a big thing in terms of not just educating the consumer, but potentially educating, the bra designers as well. And kind of within sports apparel design, it might, in some of the companies, just encouraging them to kind of maybe pursue the design. A lot of people who work in there might be males and might not be aware of kind of
Yeah.
the challenges that women experience. So it's education not just for women, but kind of for all, really. And yeah, I think there is kind of advances in technology and in material design will impact bra design. And yeah, I think it might be that they stay the same, or we might end up with a fourth type of sports bra, completely different to the ones that are on the market just now. So yeah, I think it's a really it's a field that's expanding at quite a big rate at the moment, which is really good. So it means there's loads of opportunities and lots of ideas floating around, which are great.
Mm. And I think also that the marketing of it, like, I mean, reading through on Wikipedia about the sports bra and how the one of the ways it was kind of made not popular, but it kind of helped, but was that when I think it was when the USA won, I think it was the 1999 World Cup, and I think when they won the the penalty shooter, and Brandi Christian celebrated by just taking a top off, whatever. And I think that kind of helped with the sort of the marketing thing. And even the Euros, when they scored the winning goal in the extra time sort of thing. But I suppose that all helps, doesn't it? That there's, this, the education and letting, that women can partake in sports. And also, there are, as I said, bras out there for everyone of all sizes, as it were.
Yeah, it's really great. And I'm glad you kind of brought up the football. So we, as a research group, we worked with the Lionesses prior to the Euros, and we like to say we helped prescribe the bra.
Oh,
That
brilliant! Oh,
became
okay. I didn't
famous.
know that. I didn't know that.
So yeah, we ran educational workshops with the Lionesses before the tournament, and then we did bra fittings with them as well, and we were able to prescribe them and offer them bras to wear during the tournament. And one of those bras got quite a lot of attention,
Oh
which was
yes,
great.
yeah. So you must have been thinking, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
it was great.
yeah.
But it's like you said, from that though, and from that picture, that's inspired so many young women, young girls, to get back into sport and it's been great. And from that, we get a lot of interest from sports clubs, and and these are at the elite level, all different kinds of sportsmen, and also kind of local groups, community groups, recreational running clubs. Since then we've had such a massive increase in kind of offering them these kind of bra workshops and
awareness, isn't it?
advice.
So,
Yeah, and so the appetite is there for it, to learn and to educate everyone. So it's really great. So that was a really great experience for us to see the impact that had. So that was brilliant.
That must have been a good moment. And also, I noticed that you do work with the army, the force, the armed services. That's right? Because obviously they're obviously may not be as vigorous, or maybe they obviously do a very functional type of work, and they need to have the right equipment for that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we've got again a branch in our research group that looks at the occupational population. So women who require, sports bras, or, high support kind of fitted clothing, or, they wear different types of equipment. So for instance, like police body armor, and then how that affects, a woman's torso compared to a man's torso. And yeah, within the military, we did work with them, and kind of they were really great, and they've now implemented kind of recommendations that our research group did with them in terms of being able to prescribe and provide their new recruits with sports bras. And we've currently got a project that's just coming to an end, which has looked at of those sports bras, which ones are the most suitable for the jobs and that they will be doing in the army. So yeah, it's been really great, and it's great to see kind of big organizations like that kind of really taking an interest and really seeing how that can impact them and the people that they're their employees essentially. So that's really great.
Yeah. So are you currently doing work with the Olympic athletes, or is that because obviously being an Olympic year or whatever? I mean, are they from different sports, or do you find you may be doing work with some athletes from a one particular sport?
For that, I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure what plans are for that, but we did for the Tokyo Olympics.
Oh, okay.
We did previously. So what we discussed, what we did with the Lionesses, we did the same with the Tokyo Team GB Olympic and Paralympic teams. So we did a breast education workshop with them, and then did some bra prescriptions and bra fittings with them as well.
That's so that sounds really exciting. So because obviously it's something that's your research is obviously ongoing, and then you're just finding out new things. I mean, is there anything? I mean, it's been very interesting talking to you, Nichola, on the podcast. Is there anything you would like to add to what we've said before?
I think just to really encourage everyone to not be afraid to talk about breasts and any problems that they're having, even if you're talking about it amongst your friends, or your family members. Like, without a doubt, what someone else will have experienced as well. You won't be alone. So yeah, it's almost like break the taboo of talking about boobs. Like it's all right to talk about them. And yeah, and there will be a solution for you, and just kind of stick in there, try different bras and see what works for you.
Is there enough help, let's say, if you're someone who is maybe experiencing pain, discomfort, or they're not getting the right in terms of going to a shop or going to manufacturers and sort of asking for help and guidance? Do you think?
There can be in certain shops. Some will be kind of more specialized than others,
Yeah.
depending on it. And it can kind of frustratingly be a little bit of trial and error with it sometimes. And it's because, like, I always say this, buying a bra is the same as buying a pair of jeans, depending on, the way that, each brand does their sizing or the way that they're manufactured. You could be a different size in a different store. So it's just keeping that in mind. And it can be, if you try a bra on and it doesn't feel right, but it's your size, just ignore the fact that it's your size and then try another size on and see if that will fit better.
Right. Kind of something just sort of popped into my head is that, let's say someone who may, for one reason or another, have had cosmetic surgery, whether it, for a cancer or whatever, do they have the same issues as someone, who has natural breasts in terms of, let's say if they were looking to take up sport?
Yeah, I mean, they will do. They'll still require breast support.
Yeah.
So that's it. And it might be, so someone who has had like breast augmentation will still require, a sports bra. And then it's different when it's maybe for, cancer surgery, if it's been a mastectomy. Those requirements might be different. And there are some products out there as well that can help in terms of, if you've had a one-sided mastectomy, so maybe just on one side.
Okay.
There are products out there that you can get to kind of maybe like fill the cup size out to kind of help give you a bit more support. So there are options out there. Yeah, but it's still important to have the support. And if you are wanting to get into exercise after, having surgery on your breasts, like still, persevere and find a sports bra for you. Yeah.
It's obviously, I suppose the message is obviously just to, educate yourself and then to, talk to others about it, and then, do persevere with the exercise, because obviously that's going to help you health wise, and then also to try on different products. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. And like I said, like, so even some of the Team GB athletes that we worked with, they discussed, they had problems with breast pain and feeling that their breasts got in the way of them being able to perform. But then when we prescribed them with, with a kind of properly fitting bra that fit their needs, and after giving them the education on what a properly fitting bra kind of should do and should be acting to do, they said back they were happier and that they saw an improvement in their performance. And it's not just a, biomechanical or physiological performance, but also psychological impact as well. It just help make you feel more confident and in exercising and in moving your body.
Yeah, that's great. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably do a link to your website on the podcast when the podcast comes out. But I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you. Really, really grateful that you agreed to come onto the podcast. If there's anything else you'd like to say, like to finish it off?
The only thing I could say that maybe is to, just for your listeners to go through maybe the steps of looking for the 5 steps we kind of briefly touched upon earlier for bra fittings. If they're wanting to go out and kind of take my advice and go out and find a new bra for themselves, I can kind of talk through maybe some of the steps that might help them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the first step that we would say is looking at the underband.
Yeah.
So the underband is actually where the majority of the support for your breasts come from. So a lot of people think it comes from the straps, but actually the straps are just there to hold the bra onto your body. The underband is almost like a shelf to kind of like support your breasts from below.
Right.
So you want to make sure that that's level around your chest wall, so it's not rising up at the back. And you also want to make sure that if you stand and you put your hands up in the air, it's not moving up away from your body. So that would be a sign that it's too big. And you also want to make sure that if you give it a little pull, a little tug at the side under it, that it's got no more than a 5 centimeter give. That would suggest it's too big. And then if you can't get your fingers under there, then it's too small. So you need to kind of then think about changing your size of underband. Then we go on to the straps. So again, straps are adjustable. And again, so you want to adjust them, and this might be different on each side. So they might not be at the same length
level
on each side.
Yeah.
And again, you want to make sure that there's not more than a 5 centimeter pull when you kind of stick your finger up and pull it up off your shoulder.
Right.
You don't want more than 5 centimeters. You want to tighten it up a bit. And then also you don't want it to be digging in. So if you can see it kind of pressing into your skin and starting to leave kind of a mark, you want to kind of loosen that up a bit. And then we have the center part of the bra. So this little bit, it's compression bras won't have this, but an encapsulation bra will, and an everyday bra will. So you want this to be sitting kind of so it sits in between your breasts, and you want it to sit kind of flush against the chest wall, so lying flat against it. And again, if it's kind of pulling away from the chest wall and you've got a gap, that can be a sign that your bra's not the right size. So it could either be that it's normally a sign that your cups are a bit too small because it's kind of pushing, the breasts are kind of squished in the cups, and that's pushing the bra off the chest wall. So you want that to lie nice and flat against the chest wall. Then we
cups?
have cups, yeah. The cups. So the cups that you don't want any bulging outside of the cups. So if you've got bulging, if you've got breast tissue kind of spilling out of the cups at the top or even round at the side, that's a sign that you need to go up a cup size. And then if you've got it on and you've got wrinkling in the fabric, that can be a sign that the cups are too big. So you want to go down a size. And you really want the cups to have quite a nice snug fit over the top. So you don't want your kind of breasts moving around inside them too much. You want it to sit quite nice and flush against them. And then you would have the underwire, which is the last part. So in terms of an underwire, if you don't like an underwire, that's fine. There's nothing to say that you have to wear a bra that has an underwire. I think that's quite a love or hate relationship women have with an underwire bra. But we like to use it to help us look at bra fit. So the underwire starts around at the side and comes all the way around the bottom and up to the middle of the breast. And you want all the breast tissue to be sitting within that boundary that the underwire creates.
Yep.
So if that underwire is sitting on top of your breast tissue, then that can actually cause some pain and discomfort. And that's a sign that you need to go up a cup size as well. So that's a nice guide to kind of see if your breasts are kind of sitting within the cup properly, is to use that underwire as a guide.
Okay. And then, I mean, for sports bras, is the material pretty much uniform? It's the same, is it, for every?
Yeah, so we'd say to go through those steps for a sports bra as well, as best you can. Yeah. So like I said, with a compression one, you don't have the separate cups.
Yeah.
And, not a lot of sports bras have underwires either, so you wouldn't be able to use that. But definitely in terms of the underband and the straps, and again, adjustability, we love adjustability in the underband and the straps as well. And then we've also seen that in terms of kind of the cups and coverage for a high support sports bra, kind of the higher the neckline, the better.
Okay.
So we've seen something as much as pretty much for every 1 centimeter higher the neckline is, we see a 1% reduction in breast movement.
Okay. So it's kind of sort of about your sternum, is it, or something around here?
Yeah, I mean,
they vary.
They come in varying styles and in varying ways. And it's just, if you're looking for a high support bra, then one that has a higher neckline that kind of comes up, it's probably somewhere around your sternum. It's probably going to offer you more support than one which, is a lower neckline.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. Thanks very much for coming to come. And obviously you've provided a lot of information in terms of what, my listeners can take away from it. But thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
That's all right. Thank you for having me. We love to kind of get the word out and share everything about what we do. So it's been great to have.
And that's a wrap for another exhilarating episode of Brian's Run Pod. Thanks for tuning in, folks. As always, we've got your back with all things running. And next week, get ready for some awesome beginner hints and tips to kickstart your running journey. Oh, and before we sign off, exciting news. We're now available on YouTube. So whether you're pounding the pavement or chilling at home, you can catch us there too. Hey, if you want to keep up with the latest updates, behind the scenes fun, and even some exclusive content, make sure to follow me on social media. You can find me on Twitter, or should I say X, at Brian's Run Pod. We've also just launched a shiny new Facebook page. Simply search for Brian's Rompod and give us a like. And don't forget to hop on over to Instagram, where you can catch all our visual adventures at Brian's Rompod. For those of you who love diving deep into the episodes, head over to our website, www.briansrompod.co.uk, and there you'll find detailed show notes, handy chapter markers, make it too easy to navigate through our favourite discussions. Please leave a review, as it will always help others find this podcast. Music is by Happy Days by Stock Audio, not forgetting artwork by Alice Patterson. Till next week, thanks again for listening.